On this video, we will discuss the top Build a Nation saves that you can do right now on FM23, and we'll also explain what a Build a Nation is if you've never heard of it before. Before we get into it, if you are watching this video and you don't subscribe, if you can subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing. It does wonders for me, and I honestly do really appreciate it. So now, enough about me. Let's get into what is a Builder Nation. So a Builder Nation is where you manage both club and international team at the same time, and your aim with the club is to get them to win that continent's biggest continental competition and the league that they're in, and also that national side's continental competition and the World Cup. So some big ambitions there. But what you want to make sure you're doing first is both international club, both international and club team management is clicked on the top here, so you can manage both international side and a club team. Now let's get into the recommendations for this save. My first recommendation for Build a Nation is probably everyone's favourite. It's FC Vaduz, who are in the second division in Swiss football, but they are a club that are in Liechtenstein. So the idea here is to manage the Liechtenstein national team and FC Vaduz and win everything with FC Vaduz, but there is a trick to it. FC Vaduz can only enter the Europa Conference League. So even if you do go on to win the top Swiss division, if you haven't won the Europa Conference League, you can't go into the Europa League and then you can't go into the Champions League. So this save is probably one of the hardest, given that the club success you have to have with FC Vaduz, even to get to the Champions League, is absolutely astronomical. You have to win the Conference League, then the Europa League, just to take part in the Champions League. It's absolutely insane. And Liechtenstein are one of the smallest European countries, and they're one of the worst ranked teams in the world at 194th place in the world, with no outstanding ballers that anyone's ever heard of, unless you're a hardcore FC Vaduz fan or Liechtenstein League watcher. This is an absolute fun one of the toughest challenges on FM, and I would highly recommend it. My next recommendation is a very similar one to the last one, but this time it's with FC Andorra, who are in the second division of Spanish football and have an owner in Gerard Piqué who wants to put money into the club and build this team up and get them to La Liga. They don't have the same restrictions as what FC Vaduz do. So with Andorra, you can go into the La Liga and you can get into the Champions League if you finish there in the league positions, which makes this challenge slightly easier than the FC Liechtenstein one. But if we look at Andorra, they are ranked 157th in the world, so slightly better than Liechtenstein. And you will start off with some better ballers in your squad, like Ika Alvarez, who is a top class, one of the best young wonder kid goalkeepers on the game, and he plays for FC Andorra. This one is an absolute fun one. I've done this over on my TikTok channel, and it was an absolute pleasure to get Andorra to the Euro semi-final. It was an absolute insane save, and I couldn't recommend it anymore. My next recommendation takes us to a City Group football club in Mumbai City FC in India. This one will be an absolutely tough challenge. India has one of the biggest populations in the world, but they haven't set the world of football alight. They've never qualified for a World Cup, and none of their players play in top divisions, which is an absolute shame. I'm hoping the Indian nation will get better at football, but you could do this for them. So Mumbai City FC, as I mentioned, are owned by the City Group, the same group of that own Manchester City. So you manage them and you manage India, who are 102nd in the world. So they're above teams like Liechtenstein and Andorra. But if they played each other, it would be a tough game. They've got a great manager in Igor Stimac at the moment, who was a legendary Croatian player. And they're looking to build their football in real life. But can you go one further and take India to the World Cup and win it all with them? You've certainly got the population to do it. And with Mumbai City, you should have the money to build up the Indian League. Peru are a football mad nation that hasn't really done much on the world stage. Can you take Club Alianz Lima and make them the best team in South America whilst making the Peruvian national team the best team in the world by winning the World Cup? It will be tough because you'll have to come up against teams from Argentina and Brazil with bigger budgets and better players. But this is what the Builder Nation is all about. It's building up your club and then taking them all the way and becoming the best team on that continent. With the national team, they are quite good. They are 22nd in the world, so you shouldn't have too much of an issue qualifying for tournaments and competing in the major competitions against the likes of Argentina, Brazil, and Colombia. They've got players like Renato Tapia and Raul Rudiaz who are absolutely class. They will carry your team at the start. This is another fun one and one in South America, and we all know FM saves in South America just hit different. I've saved this one to last because this is one of my favourite ones, is the Irish Build a Nation. So I've chosen Shamrock Rovers here as a team, but you can pick any Irish league team that you want to pick. This is just the easiest one to do it with, as they are probably the best team in the league. And they have some decent players. So dominating domestically won't be an issue. But where the issue will rise is with the Republic of Ireland. They've had many years of being in the doldrums, some very, very poor players. Now they look like they've got a crop of absolutely top talent coming through in young players like Gavin Bazunu, Troy Parrott, Evan Ferguson, one of the best strikers on the game, and one of the top wonder kids in real life. They are ranked 48th in the world, but you should be able to compete and qualify for competitions, especially the Euros early on with this Irish team because they do have some very, very good players. It's a very, very fun save. But where the tough part of the challenge will come in is competing in Europe with Shamrock Rovers. That's going to be the tough one. Trying to win the Champions League with an Irish side is absolutely almost impossible. But what a fun save it is, and what a fun save this will be. And if you have any other Build a Nation recommendations, put them in the comments below for everyone to see. But these are my top 5 Build a Nation saves.